Hello, everybody. Am I audible? Hi, everyone. Am I audible to everyone? Can anybody just confirm? Hi, very good evening to one and all present here. And I can see some known faces. Okay, so I hope that everybody is doing fine. And since the weather is too hot these days, so I would suggest, especially the scholars who are doing their PhD, and just to be take care of themselves because you guys need to go to collect literature review and data collection. So I wish them a special, caring message that just do take care of yourself since it's really hot these days. All right. So we are here, we can see that 37 people are here. And hello, everybody. Mr. Satyam, Mr. Amit, Mr. Isa, Suhas, Mr. Parvash, everybody, a very warm welcome. And it's indeed a pleasure for me to connect, with all of you, that we are here on this platform with which you and me, rather I should say that all of us, we are located in different parts of the world, and we are able to connect. And thank you to research graduate as well for this opportunity to provide it to all of us. All right. So a very good evening, Mr. Satyaveer. Very good evening, Sayed. And let us begin the session. This session is primarily talking about literature, the style, the research methodology, the conclusion of review paper. Okay, so I'm sure that many of you must be in the stage where you have chosen to pursue with the writing a review paper. Very good evening, Madhusmita, Mr. Harish. I would request that please, if you can, if we all can join very quickly, so then we can start our session in a full spree. All right. So let me take you to the session, and then I will just, before jumping on to the main content of the webinar, I would like to introduce all of you about research graduates. Research graduate, basically, we are a consulting company. We are a research consulting company, I would like to say that, research graduate extend its help towards the research work, wherein you get the full-fledged support, start from the topic selection till your proofreading, your editing. That means the entire process of research, writing research, statistical analysis, be it your literature review, everything is being taken care by a research graduate. And they have, we have special experts with us, so they are always ready to extend their support to help you out in any possible ways, in best of our capacities. Okay, so if anybody would like to connect to research graduate, they can connect us with the given email ID, and also with the phone number which you can see, and the website also is there which you can visit if you have any query related to research, topic selection, and so on. All right. Okay, so this webinar is going to be divided into two parts, wherein I'll be presenting for around 90 minutes. And please grab a cup of coffee or chilled juice for yourself, so that we can have a very relaxing session. And then we'll be open for question and answer session for around 30 minutes. All the PPTs and the recording, the certificates will be sent to you with on the email ID with which you have with which you must have registered for this webinar. All right, so let's get started for the action. As I told you that we'll be talking about review paper. So the agenda for today's webinar goes like this, that firstly we'll be understanding about the review articles, the structural aspect of review article, the foundation of the topic, the theme, and then we'll be talking about how we can compile the review article and the referencings. All right. So to begin with, I would like to first ask if anybody has an idea about what do you mean by a review article or a review paper, if I may ask. Quickly, see, let us make a very interactive session. Let's not make it one sided, because this is not a movie going on. So I would appreciate if you can chat, if you can type in your chat that so that I can get an idea about your already possessed understanding about the topic of the webinar. If not, it's okay, I'll take care of it. Quickly, can anybody type in the chat what do you mean by a review article or a review paper? All right, meanwhile, I'll start with it. Okay, so whenever you talk about a review article, uh, review article, or a review paper is not any form of a book report. Okay, just that we understand. It not just a report that you have found something, you have read it, and then you are reviewing it. Okay, basically, when we talk about a review paper basically consists of the synthesis, basically the conclusion of the various literature which is there on the topic on which you have chosen to write the paper about. Okay, now let me just tell you about what is literature. See, literature, whenever we hear this word, so let me brief you about this topic once, that any form of published material, okay, related to your topic, be it your articles, be it your papers, be it your journals, paper, or be it your books, that consists a part of your literature. Okay, so when you are choosing a topic, when you are going for understanding about a topic, and then you choose to write a paper or an article about it, so you read that literature, you go ahead with that literature, and then you synthesize. Now when I say synthesize, I mean you extract the knowledge of the various literature what you have gone through, and then you present it into form of a paper or an article for yourself. Okay, that's what we call as a review article or a review paper. Yes, Asia, it's an article that summarizes the knowledge exactly. Okay, then coming to the next aspect of review article, that is, you, while writing a review article, you go through various individuals work. As I said that you go through the literature which has already been published, so obviously you're going through different persons article, and then what you do is you evaluate that work. So when I'm saying that you evaluate work, I'm not saying that you say this work is good or bad. What I meant to say is that you try to identify that what is the information is there in that paper which you are reviewing, which you are understanding, which you are reading for your own purpose, which can be for your use. Okay, you try to identify the central theme of the article. We will be covering what is central theme in the future, in the further studies. Okay, and then you also try to identify what are the implications from that paper for the further research which has already been written in the literature. Okay, then when I say what is the purpose of a review article, so the review article, the purpose is that you choose a topic, right? You go ahead with the topic, and then the purpose is to address or to understand what are the progresses made in that topic at present. Okay, so how that topic is progressing currently. Okay, so that's what we say that when we talk about the purpose of a review paper. Okay, now moving ahead, when we talk about the review article and further, I've just posted an example for you. not necessarily in mind any general topic or any general field. It's just a general, just for an example. So the journal which I have taken the paper is from International Journal of Advanced Computer Science and Applications. Okay. So the review article which we are discussing, basically the paper or the article, I am choosing synonymously. So if I am saying review article or review paper, see, all those who are not getting the clarity, please increase the streaming clarity. I will keep these slides on slideshow mode. I will not come back to StreamYard now, so that it will be more clear to you. Okay, now I think it will be clear. See, this example may not be clear to you. It's okay, fine. It's just a picture. Just focus on what I'm saying, okay? Because these slides will be eventually given to you. So that's not a tension to, worry about. Just listen to what I'm saying. That's more important, okay? So when we talk about review paper, review article, which I'm taking synonymously to each other, so they summarizes what is going on at present in that particular topic. Okay, what is going on at in that field or in that topic which we have chosen. Okay, then with the help of a review paper or review article, we develop an understanding, and we tell this to our audience that this is what is happening related to that chosen topic, or what has already been discussed on that related topic, because we have chosen to review the related literature on that topic. Okay, now what is the benefit of writing a review article? Many of you must be thinking, see, in a nutshell, what you are doing in a review article, you are presenting a concise form of literature review on a particular topic with the help of a review paper. Okay. Now, during the course of PhD, I'm sure many researchers would agree me saying that during the course of your PhD, the different stages are there. Okay, wherein according to the demand of different universities, you are supposed to present your paper which you produce during the course of your PhD. So while you are working, or while just you have finished literature review, many scholars, they write review paper. Okay, so they write the review paper on their chosen topic on the basis of the literature they have reviewed. Okay, so what you are doing is, with the help of this paper, you are actually reviewing a collective literature review, and then you are presenting that review with the help of your article. Now, the benefit of this article or the paper to audiences would be such that under one umbrella, through your paper, through your article, under one umbrella, the reader is getting a concised literature review, synthesized literature review, which he or she might not be able to get otherwise. Okay, so you are showing the progression of the topic, what has happened in that topic, how it was conceptualized, probably the nature of it, the dynamics of it, the concept as in the form of definition, if the topic requires to be addressed with the help of theoretical background, the theories related to it, and so on. So I'm sure that till now you must have understood that when I say that review paper or review article, so I am trying to say that when I'm evaluating others' work, again I am saying I'm evaluating other work. That means I'm not saying good or bad. I am just extracting the theme of the paper, the implications of the paper, or the information which is of my use, which can be a part of my article, and presenting it in the form of a article or a paper. Then I am saying that I am writing or I'm presenting a review paper. All right. Okay. Now, before I move ahead, can anybody quickly tell me what's the difference between research and a review article? Please, quickly. I mean, this is a very common question which we hardly pay attention to, but it's very important to know, so that Mr. Ravindra have asked a question: writing a review paper at the initial or at the end of a research, which one is better? Mr. Ravindra, I will not say that which one is better, the writing at the start or writing at the end. If I'll tell you my situation during the course of my PhD, I wrote the review paper at the starting of my PhD. Once I was done with my literature, reason being because the literature review I was doing, I was in a process of literature reviewing, when I wrote that review paper, because at that time I had not started with my data collection, data analysis. Because once you start with research, data collection or data analysis, then all these analysis, the test, the interpretation, they take some main center stage. Okay. However, literature review is a continuous process throughout your PhD. So it up to you and your instructors comment that when you would like to write the paper. Okay. Whether he said research paper is database, whether he review article is also a database, however you can say that a review article or a review paper are secondary database. Okay. All right. So let us go back to the difference between both of them. All right. So this is the difference for research and review article. I have categorized the difference between on the basis of three main points. First goes like viewpoint, then content, and then the length. So major differences lies on the basis of these 3 points. So when we talk about the viewpoint of research article, so research article, basically you are researching and putting into your perspective being a researcher. Okay. They, as in the research article, they presents the authors, that is you or me, whosoever is writing the research article, our perspective, because we conclude with our results, what we have found out in terms of the data which we have collected, the statistical or the primary data. So we put in our perspective while writing the research article. When we talk about a review article, we are actually presenting our critical review on the work which we have reviewed of other authors. Okay, that's the main difference, that we are actually reviewing on what other authors they have written or they have done the work in the field. Then when we talk about content, so somebody also have said it on chat that research article is basically new content. Exactly. So when we say that research article, so you tend to go for a new dimension, new different unique topic of analysis. You tend to find out with the help of your literature review, go for a gap which has not been addressed, and then you choose that gap to be worked upon. And then relatively the uh, research article tends to be on the basis of a new content. Now, when I take your attention on review article, so here you are assessing your already published content. Okay, your already published content, you are which is your content. Now when I say already published content, now your question will be like, there's a plagiarism. And then, so what I mean already published content means you're actually putting your attention on the content which is already in the published form, the articles, the papers, the book chapters, and so on. So the newness of the content in terms of what is new, probably you may not find in that. However, you are working on the area which is already been addressed by other authors. Okay, so you are synthesizing the already published work. So when I say synthesizing the already published work, I am not criticizing review articles, I am not criticizing research articles or so ever. I'm just trying to explain the difference between both of them. However, during the course of a PhD scholar, during the journey of a PhD scholar, both these papers, both these articles, they play a very important role, and both of them are being required to write by these scholars. Okay, then we come to the length of both these articles. So when you write a research article or a research paper, which you are which you are aiming to be published in a particular journal. So you follow the guidelines given by the journal, because whenever we go for a journal publication, every journal, I'm talking about the ones who are listed journal or the index journal, categorically for them, because these days, since universities and the UGC, they have put a very special conditions that you have to have your publications in UGC A Care journal, listed journals, and Scopus Index, and Web of Science, and so on. So it's a suggestion, or it's a request to all the scholars from my end, that please do not fall prey to any journal who is a false journal, because there are so many publications house, so many are being contacted to me also these days. That's so I should rather say, since a long time back, that we help you to get your paper published. It's just a suggestion, and it's a request to all the scholars, please don't let your research work waste to any false prey, to any false publication house or any journals which promise you that we'll publish your work in Scopus Index and so on, and we'll charge you so and so amount. Definitely journals do take amount to get your work published, but please make sure that whosoever you are handling your work, whosoever you are giving your work to get published, is an authentic source. Okay, because many a times what happen is that, in just in a lieu of getting the our work published, we are running short of time, we have our pressure from our universities or from our supervisors, we just tend to get a paper published. But eventually we find that this journal is neither indexed, or it is not a UGC listed journal, and so on. So please, it's a request, please make sure that whatever source you choose, it's a right one. Okay, then coming back to the length of the research article, that, as I said, that depends upon the journal which you are choosing to go ahead with. When I say review article generally, not as compared to not lengthy, or probably they do not follow any length pattern, but they are relatively shorter than a research article. However, there is also word limit with the review article. That again depends, that if you are aiming to get it published too, because journals also, they go for the publication of review article, like the one which I just showed you. So they have the word limit or the length limit for the review articles as well. Okay, again, so please make sure that whatsoever journal you take, it's an authentic place to go for. It's an authentic publication house to trust it upon. All right. Okay. Now coming to format of a review article. Somebody also typed in a chat that how to go ahead with the review article, and so here is the answer to your query, that what should be the format of a review article, how the review article should look like. Okay. All right. Then the first is, now again I'm saying, just point to say that the format of a review article, there are many formats to write a review article, and all of them, they are basically overlapping to each other, they are common with each other. Okay, so many things or many contents of this review article, they are common to each other. So not necessarily that what I'm presenting to you is hard and fast to go for. However, what I'm presenting to you is a standard one. If you wish to follow another format which is referred by a supervisor or any other research scholar, you may go ahead, provided it suits to your requirement. Okay, and what I am presenting to you right now is one which is a standard format for a review article. All right. Okay, now when I say that what should be the format of a review article, so the first is, I'm just taking you from the scratch. Okay, so I'm not just starting with what do you say, you should start with the title and so on. I will come to that too. However, with what you can start with is this one, that you should start with a pre-title page, wherein your affiliations, your position, your institute, your city, state, country, email id, because it is required, or even many Western papers which I have seen, authors, they do give their email ID to, they do give their details to be with which they can be contacted. Okay, so please, if it is required from your end, you may put. So otherwise your affiliations should be there, because if in any case any other author would like to contact you, the person can contact you. So this is a pre-title page, I think the name itself says. Now, option corresponding author detail. As I just said, it is up to you that whether you want to include your email ID, your phone number. It is, up to you. You want to add it or you don't. It up to you. However, your affiliations. When I say affiliations, your name, your workplace, your department, your position. This should be there. Okay, because if somebody else is also going to refer you, and your name or contact details are not there, they can contact you with the help of your workplace. All right. Okay. Then running head, it is the title of your paper shortened to less than 40 characters. Now, this is basically the page wherein you are writing your title of the paper. Then it should be less than 40 characters. Now, here I would like to just tell you the difference between topic and title. If anybody have attended the previous webinars of us, then they must be knowing it. If not, then let me tell you again. Can anybody quickly tell me the difference between topic and title before we move ahead? Mr. Pradeep, Mr. Raki. So, so the list of authentic journalists, see, if you're going for Scopus, you can check on their website. They do it. If any journal you are approaching for publication and they claim that we are indexed by Google Scholar or Web of Science, so please make sure that you go to the websites of the index listings, and you check that whether the claimed journal is present in their list or not. This way you can check the authentication, especially if I tell you in the case of Scopus. So Scopus, they release the list of the site listed journals with them, how long the journal list is indexed with them, when it was discontinued, when it was again continued. So this way you can make sure that the listed journal, which the indexing which they claim, is authenticated or not. Because many a times what happen is, the index journal, they get indexed only for a year and then they discontinue, but they keep saying that we are Scopus index. Okay, so this thing needs to be double check by yours, and then you need to make sure that whether it is indexed or currently the indexing is going on or not. Okay, Mr. Harish has said that topic is complete details and title. See, just quickly tell you the difference between topic and title. Topic is a wide domain. Yes, Miss Raki, the list is available on Scopus website. Okay, the topic is a wide horizon. Say, for example, I want to work on, or I wish to uh, work on the area of employee engagement. Okay, or the impact of COVID. Now, this is my topic which I would like to work on. When I say title, title is that name which I have given to my study. So I would like to understand the influence of the factors on employee motivation in manufacturing industry. So that is my title. My topic was employee motivation. That will be reflected as a theme in my paper. However, I will be working on a particular title, that is, what are the factors which are influencing employee motivation in manufacturing industry. Probably I can choose any particular topic, a particular city, probably I can choose any particular area, or so on. Okay, so my title is that name which with which my study get characterized, my study get known to the audience. Okay, so title is a wide horizon. Sorry, topic is the wide horizon, title is that name, or title is that particular funneled content on which I am working. Okay. All right. Mr. Pradeep is saying, ma'am, if there is a paucity of publication related to a research topic, then how to manage a writer review paper? Okay. Mr. Pradeep, if there is a paucity of, particular literature available on that topic, for example, if I say that, if you choose to work on skill volunteering, let's say, for example, skill volunteering in Middle East, there is not much work being done on, or the role of educational institutions in cybersecurity, that's also there is not much of work done. So what you can do, and then you can go for UN reports, you can go to search for governmental organizations report, because maybe there are paucity of related journal publications, related paper publication, but you may find the reports which are being published by specifically by UN or WHO, depending upon what kind of topic you have chosen. And then you also can go for the reports which are being published by Deloitte, McKinsey, PwC, all these consulting firms. Why I'm taking the name of these consulting firms? Because they are the one authentic one, because you may find various websites where they are uploading the data. So please be careful before taking the data from any such website, that whether the website can be trusted upon or not, it is an authentic one or not. So what I'm telling you are the authentic source of websites of what do you say, UN, website of WHO, the big five consulting firm you can also go for. Or then obviously, if there are any related books on that topic, you can go for it, if there is a paucity of literature published in the form of journal articles. Okay. Ms. Rakhi, topic is definitely the domain of the study, and title is particularly not the sub area in the topic. Title is basically, that aspect of the topic which we are studying in our study, with which we are continuing with our study. Okay. However, you are, partially correct, but to be precise, title is that name which we give, or title is that aspect which we study in our study, in our research. Okay. Now coming back to the format of a review article. All right. So next is the summary page. Basically, what I said, that this is not the standard one. This is not the hard and fast format which you need to follow. This is one is a standard one. So when I talk about summary page, so basically it demands, depends upon your instructor. Why I have named the instructor or supervisor? Because many of you are doing their PhD. Many of you are pursuing their PhD. So please make sure that you keep your supervisor in loop while you are writing any review article or any such paper. That's what my suggestion is during the course of your PhD. When you are writing a paper, when you are writing any kind of research or review article, please make sure that you get in touch with your instructor for the same, or supervisor for the same. Okay. The summary can be of 800 words long. Again, when I say summary, so many a times your journal with which you are getting in touch with, they demand you to write abstract. Okay. Probably for 500 words, or probably for 550 words, and so then in that case, the summary page will take that space for abstract. Okay. So because here also in summary, what you are writing is that you are giving the relevant background, the significance of your work, what are the results, and what are the methods which you have used, and same thing you put it in your abstract. Okay. And one thing to make a note of it, that we do not put referencing in our summary page, or in our abstract too, we do not give. And I'm sure all of you must be knowing. So when you are going for any journal publication or for any conference publication, so what you do, you send your abstract first, or your summary of the paper first. Many foreign university, they call it as a summary of the paper also. Okay. So abstract is relatively smaller than summary. That is, abstract is somewhere close to 500, or at max 600. Summary can be of 800 words. Okay. Or I have written should be 800, because majority of the places where summary is required, it is around 800 pages. However, when I say abstract, it can be 500 on 500, 600, between that, not more than that. Okay. So please make sure that whatever language you use, it should be, very straightforward. You are not using any kind of jargons, you're not using any kind of abbreviations. When I say straightforward, it should be easily communicating that what is the purpose of that paper which you are going. Okay, now coming back to the question of Mr. Pradeep, the difference between abstract and introduction, why I'm taking it, so that I don't skip it. See, Mr. Pradeep, although I'll take abstract in future further slides also, but let me tell you, when I'm talking about abstract, abstract is actually is a synthesis of my entire paper. So be it a research paper, be it a review paper, I am synthesizing my paper in my abstract, giving little bit of background, little bit of what the work I have been doing, or the results of it, or let's say the significance of it. Okay, that's what I make sure in writing in abstract. When I say introduction of the paper, that is firstly it is relatively a lengthy content of the paper, which includes your background of the information, your background of the study. Many a time background of the study may take a separate place in the paper depending upon the general requirement. So you must have seen many paper which has introduction also and background of the study, and many paper with only introduction in which background of the study is related. So you talk about what is the, you give the general introduction of the paper, you talk about the background of the study, what kind of results your paper is expecting in a detailed form, relatively in a detailed form. Then abstract. Abstract is a concise summary of your paper, wherein introduction you give detail about background, you leave a snapshot about that what you are expecting, what is the kind of study this is going to be. You do not talk much about the research methodology and so in introduction. However, in abstract you can just tell that what method you have chosen, or let's say if you are going for a review paper, so you have taken a scoping technique for instance, right? So you just can name the technique in abstract. The introduction relatively is a lengthier portion in the paper. Okay, I hope I have cleared the query. Then coming back to the next twist, that is your title page, wherein you write the title in which your abstract is there. Now if you see, I have added summary page and title page both, wherein abstract is also there. So since we are writing a summary already of 800 words, so abstract can be a smaller one. If there is no summary word, then abstract can be of 500 and 600 word as I stated, and there has to be 4 to 6 keywords. Now please make sure that whenever you are writing the keywords of the paper, which I'll be talking in the further session, further slides also, make sure the keywords are not less than 4 and they should not exceed the 6 or 7 number. Okay, please do not write too many keywords. Okay, Ms. Raki, actually we have conducted a webinar in past on creating a difference between, or what was the difference between background of the study and statement of the problem. However, if anybody of you like to conduct such webinars again, please drop in a query with research graduate. We will try to conduct it again, because if I'll start to stating the difference here, so probably we will lose the track of the current topic. Okay, we'll definitely look into this matter, that if you guys want to get a webinar again on background of the study, introduction and all, we can conduct it again. Please leave a query with research graduate. Thank you so much. Okay, now coming to introduction, as you know, the query I just answered, that here when you talk about introduction, so you're talking about the topic of the study. Basically here introduction should be, what I believe is, I when I write introduction, so I follow that statement that first impression is the last impression. So a partial impression you create with abstract, you know how likely your abstract is impressive, that create an impression about paper. However, with introduction also, the impression of your paper gets started. The audience start creating their expectations with the lines you have wisely chosen in writing or while writing introduction. So please make sure that whatever language you use, whatever kind of words, vocabulary you use, they should be very well defined. They should be very nicely chosen. Okay, so when you write about the introduction, so introduction basically, tells about that, what is the article all about. It tells the outline of the subtopic which will be discussed in the article. Also, as I said, that it also briefs about the background information. So background information, just give you a quick understanding about it. As Ms. Rocky also said, that background information tells you that what are the developments which have happened in the past, that is background, right? What have the developments, or what are the kind of work which has been work in from of any highlighted kind of work which has been already been done on the chosen topic, in a very concise form you present, especially in any review article, because the review article is all about presenting that work only. Okay, so background information in introduction should be very wisely written, very carefully written, while you are working on the background information to be included in the introduction part. Okay, just to create an understanding in our audience that what kind of work can be expected from this paper, what kind of information can be expected from this paper. Okay, now this is the main structural format of your review article, that is the body of the paper. That is, it includes that what all are the subtopics you are addressing, what are the conclusion, and then the literature. Now let me talk to you directly, as in terms of when I say body of the when I say body of the review article, that means to say that, because here, see, you are talking on terms of the various literature which has been already published. Okay, so there what you do is that you try to address the literature. What I follow is that on the basis of the variables. Okay, on the, because what all are the variables, what all are the factors you have chosen to study in that topic, you present that body on the basis of that variables. Many a times, many review paper also analyze the kind of the work on the basis of the literature, if there is any key literature which has been which has been there, or if there any major trend which needs to be done on that, which needs to be analyzed, or which needs to be presented to the audience on that particular topic. So you can arrange that body of the paper according to your topic, what you have to present to your audience, what is the highlight of the paper. So that completely depends upon the discretion of the author. Coming back to the query of Mr. Anil, if there is any minimum number of paper, Mr. Anil, I can't, in fact nobody can tell you what is the minimum number of paper, but yes, at least as much any paper you can review in order to write a review article, that's appreciative, because review article is all about that how much you have reviewed the literature. Okay, so the quantity does matter, but do not forget the quality of the paper also. Just to increase the number of the papers you have to cite, don't forget the quality of the paper as well. Okay, now after the body of the paper, this is your conclusion. That is that, what is the rationale for your review, because basically conclusion of this review article gets slightly tricky, because here we are not analyzing any form of statistical data. We have not performed any statistical test, we have not done any interpretation of the statistical data. So sometimes the researchers, they get confused that what should be the conclusion of a review article. So the conclusion of a review article primarily takes place the reasoning behind us, that why we have chose to review this paper, that what was the purpose that we chose to write this paper. And you generally summarize this fact that the major developments in the literature on the topic chosen by you was this, just in a summary. So you present it in conclusion, because that's what your conclusion is. Okay, and then literature cited, please use MLA style. I've just written MLA style or APA style. So whatever is been is been required, is the requirement for your journal publication or by university, choose that style of referencing. And Referencing is very important, specifically for review article. By stating I do not mean that in a research article the referencing is not required. Okay, Mr. Deepak, I have given a picture, a snapshot of a review paper in the previous slide. So when you will receive these slides, you may find a example. Okay. um Mr. Mangalam, when you say interpretation while doing review articles, so you are not putting it in the form of statistical interpretation. Okay. Here in review article, when I say interpretation, so here you are putting it into your opinion. So that on the basis of the published review of the published literature on the topic chosen by you, what is your critical analysis, what is your interpretation on that? Okay, so that interpretation wherein your research acumen will be reflected in the paper can be presented. That interpretation do comes into review article. Okay, all right, so let's move ahead. And then coming to the right theme. Okay, so what happened is, before moving ahead, that often I have seen various scholars and various students, also colleagues of mine, also we often get confused that on what particular theme we should write a paper, or we should go for a review article. So basically, ma'am, suggestion of the authors can be included in writing a review paper, or only strict to the published paper? See, Mr. Pradeep, when you are writing a review article, right, so basically the purpose of the whole paper is to review others work, right? Now when you are saying suggestions of the author, so those suggestions of you as an author would also be based on what you have reviewed. Getting my point? Because we have not any particular statistical results to show, so our suggestions, because as a specific suggestion subtopic does not come in review article. But if you wish to give and present your research acumen, we can present it into the conclusion section of the review article, wherein you are actually presenting that suggestion also on the basis of what you have reviewed. Okay, so that suggestion you can form, but only on the basis of what you have reviewed. Now coming back to Madhismita's query, that what about the plagiarism check? Definitely, I mean, plagiarism does not get escaped anywhere. Now when I say plagiarism, that definitely chances of getting high plagiarism are always high in while writing your review paper. But again, because on plagiarism also we have conducted a webinar in the past, so I'm saying that for quotes, for definition, you can't change. But yes, whenever you are adopting any other kind of work or any other kind of content from anybody's work, please make sure that you rephrase. I accept that there are high chances of getting high plagiarism while writing review paper. But again, you being a scholar, you being a researcher, it's very important to make sure that whatever best of English right, whatever best of analysis in terms of writing the paper, please make sure that you use it. Again, one thing, if you have done, being a scholar, if you have done enough review, enough as in, when I say, if you think that okay fine, I have done qualitative literature review, in terms, when I say qualitative, I meant to say in terms of quantity also, you tend to know various writing styles, because you are reviewing many paper, you are reading many material, various kind of material, right? So you tend to understand what are the writing style of the authors. Sometimes you are reviewing Indian authors, sometimes you're reviewing Western authors. Both these will have different style of writings. Okay, so you tend to develop your own after reading so many. So I am sure if any of the scholar have done considerable good amount of review by themselves, then I'm sure your writing style will definitely improve. Then it reduces the chance of plagiarism. Okay, your chances of getting low plagiarism becomes high. Again, I'm saying your chances of getting low plagiarism becomes high. Okay. Yes, Miss Rakhi, you can put it in inverted commas, some lines or some codes which are good. Again, even if you put it into inverted commas, make sure that you cite them. Okay. Exactly, you can do that, but do not fill in your paper with too many quotes, because with quotes, with definitions, or with some statement made by some authors, you can't change them. We can't change them. So once we can't change them, if we are putting in too many of them, then plagiarism checker get high. Okay. All right, coming back to the theme of the paper, that how we can go ahead with it. Now let's first understand what is a theme. Okay. Now, when I say theme is, what is a theme is, then theme is that idea which surrounds your work. Okay. About which you are talking in your paper, what you wish to the audience to let know about. It can be, about engagement, about motivation, about a particular drug development, about any physics concept. Different, depends upon the field you belong to and how you view that work. Okay, because in a review article, it's very important to not just copy others work, but to let the audience that what is your opinion about the same. So it's very important to put in your, as I said, that when you are writing your conclusion, so it's very important to let the audience know that what is your opinion about the same, what is your feedback or critical feedback about the same. Okay, so theme is basically that underlying idea. Theme is that main concept of that paper about which you have written the paper about. Okay, but when I say what theme is not, so theme is not, what is the purpose of your work. No, that's not the theme. It's not the moral of the paper. It's not the particular word. No, it's not like that. However, your theme runs through your paper. Your themes takes the center stage when you are writing your paper, particularly your review paper. Theme is that flow which takes the entire center stage around which you are talking in terms of your review article. Okay. Now, when I say how can you find the right kind of theme in any review paper, so there are some simple steps which you can follow while finding the right theme. So basically, what you can do is you can you can summarize by what is the trend, what are the mega happenings, what are the theoretical happenings in your topic. You can do that also. Then you can identify a particular subject of the work. So like of lately, 2 3 years back, when the whole world hit it by pandemic, so majority of the scholars, majority of the business corporates, the professionals, they shifted their attention towards writing the writing about the impact of COVID. In fact, I also contributed few papers on that. So the theme of our paper became COVID-19, or probably impact of COVID-19. Okay, so that you can also, and then you can also write on that what you have identified from that subject, any particular truth, any particular fact, any particular update. As I just said that, I just gave an example of factor of motivation, or what are the factors influencing motivation. So I'm talking about concept of motivation, plus I am also talking about the what are the factors. Okay, now it can be theories of motivation, so I will not possibly talk much about the different factors. I will be possibly talking about the various theories which are being discussed while talking about employee motivation. Okay, so theme can be identified in such manner. Now, another steps in finding the right kind of theme is that, what is your primary insight. Basically, let's say for example, what happened is while reviewing the literature on a particular topic about your research interest, you find out that how the relationship of two variables are impacting each other, and then you start working on that, then you start finding about the literature on that. Like for example, for role of online teaching in students development, it was a talk of the town, probably year back or so. Lot of educationists, a lot of academicians, they were very much interested in understanding that how online teaching is impacting student development of so we started developing deep on, though there was not much of literature available, but we started dwelling deep on that particular aspect. Okay, then also, if you find some statements, if you find some definitions, if you find some declarative sentences somewhere, then you can choose that as the right theme for your paper. Okay, now when I say theme of your paper, then theme means that around this your entire paper will be revolving around. Okay, now you have chosen the topic, for example, customer behavior, for example. Okay, now the theme in that can be that influence of psychology or role of psychology on consumer behavior. That can be your theme of paper. Okay, around this, the psychological factors of consumers, that how the psychology of the consumer plays a very important role in making them purchase something. Okay, so around this theme your paper will be revolving. Okay. Okay, now uh, this is a very important question. I would like to ask to all of you before I move ahead, that review paper is all about others' work. Review paper is all about how them have, they have written the paper, how they have conceptualized the paper. If anybody is writing any review paper, can anybody tell me that how you actually evaluate someone else's research, or what can we do to evaluate somebody else's research? Can anybody tell me quickly? Please, please don't be silent. Don't be silent. It has to be two-way discussion. Me speaking and you typing in the chat. That sounds good. So, can anybody tell me how, when you say that I would like to evaluate someone else's researches, or I do evaluate somebody's research. So then, how do you do it? Okay, please keep typing in the chat. Meanwhile, I'll start with it. Okay, now whenever you are actually reading a research article, whenever you are, because review article is all about analyzing somebody else's work, and I have given few points in extreme detail, reason being because you can get back to it and you can then put it into your use when you are writing a review paper. All right, so firstly is research questions, that whenever you are going for any review of any published work, so the chosen work, the questions of that chosen work should be very much clear, because many a times what happen is that you must have also gone through that the paper starts very beautifully, very connecting the paper is, but by the time we reach to objectives and the questions, the paper go in everywhere else than what it was talking about or what it was supposed to talk about. So being a reader, you should always be very particularly attentive towards that. There should be no errors in the research questions. There should be a proper relationship between the research questions, objectives, and the research methodology later followed. So please make sure that the research questions are clearly explicit. Okay, and that's a suggestion to all of you, that whenever you are writing your paper, not necessarily the review paper, that make sure that your research questions are clearly explicit, and please do not go for too many of them. Don't go for 6 7 research questions. These are not ideal. Ideal is 3 to 4 is the maximum one. Maximum is 5, which I'm saying in terms of a thesis. Okay, but when you're writing a paper, ideally is three research questions is absolutely fine to go for with. Okay, All right. Now, then, after you have paid enough attention, or after you have find that there is a clarity in the research question of the author's work which you have chosen to review, then you come to sample. Okay, sample. I know that all of you must be understanding that what is a sample for a study. So let me tell you just a glimpse of it. That when you talk about sample is that representative group of the population on which you progress with your study. Okay, now for example, I want to study the consumer behavior of youth in Delhi NCR. Okay, so in my study, whom I'm considering youth, the person who is falling into the category of 15 to 30. Okay, that I'm considering 15 to 30 as a youth, because 15 years age also as a youth these days, they have their own choice. Okay, so I would like to conduct a study on the consumer behavior wherein people are falling into the age of 15 to 30. But people who are falling in this age category, there are too many in Delhi NCR. So that's my population. But on all of them I cannot conduct my study. Okay, I have to choose a handful of the representative from that population who will be the part of my study, who will be my respondents, to whom I can ask my questions, or who can I who to with whom I can progress with my study. That will be my sample. So sample is that representations taken from the population who or which represents the characteristics of the population. Okay, so understanding, or the clear understanding of the sample which has been chosen in the study which you have decided to go ahead with, needs to be very clear, very educatedly chosen. The number should be wisely chosen, or the characteristics should match with the population. So you need to pay attention towards the sample also. Okay, now, next point which you need to pay attention towards is control of confounding variables. Basically, whatever is the types of variables, whatever is the factors, whatever are the factors which are being chosen by that study, you need to study in detail. You need to see that whether these variables are rightly chosen or not according to you, and whether these variables are actually contributing towards the study eventually, whether these variables or the association of the variables or the impact of variables is being reflected in the results or not. Then you go for the research designs. Now when I say research designs, then basically not only research design, I would rather suggest then go for the entire research methodology. Okay, now when I say research methodology, please make sure that they have chosen the right kind of research questions. As I already stated, right kind of research design is there, right kind of data analysis is being done, right kind of data collection is being done, right kind of data collection tool is being done. Now when I say that, let's say for example, you are trying to understand the human behavior. Okay, you are conducting a study, somebody has conducted a study wherein the author is trying to understand the human behavior. So the best way to understand the human behavior is by doing their observation, or by taking a open ended interview, right? So now the author has conducted probably a survey, but survey does not allow you to understand the human behavior, the psychology of the human behavior in detail. So that kind of attention you need to pay towards. And then the criteria lastly, that is that if the tool, for example the questionnaire has been used, so the reliability, the validity, both should be very carefully done in the study. And the as I said, dependent and independent variable, the association of them, and how these variables are being reflected in the tool used for data collection. Okay, all right, now let's move ahead. Then comes data analysis. So data analysis basically whether or what kind of test, correlation, regression, ANOVA, or factor analysis, all these, whatever is the kind of data analysis tool, how appropriately they have used, how these tests have been correctly utilized in order to identify the results, whether the table are clearly labeled or not, whether the histogram or the pie charts represents the data rightly or not. all these. Then comes a very important aspect, ethics, because what we do is we mainly pay attention to research methodology a lot, which is very important. But when I say ethics, ethics are those guidelines that whether you have done the work correctly or not. Okay. Now Mr. Ravi has said that how to start a literature review. All this we have conducted in our past webinar. Okay. Mr. Ravindra is asking, before writing a review paper, is it necessary to validate all method techniques mentioned in that paper? I would suggest yes, because then only this is the kind of evaluation you are making for somebody's work, right? This is what you are critically reviewing about anybody's work. This is what you need to pay attention towards. Okay. All right. Now, when I'm talking about ethics, so when I say ethics, so ethics basically are those guidelines which tells you that how the work is being rightly done or not. Now, many a times what happen is that these days ethics in research are definitely been considered by a lot of universities, by a lot of journals. They pay a lot of attention towards the research ethics. So make sure that you also maintain the standard of research ethics in your research. uh, and that is by, for example, do not reveal the identity of your respondents. Make sure that you keep the data independent, like in the sense of do not no biasness is there. And also by not just copying somebody else's work, definitely it will deflect in plagiarism, but make sure that you give enough credit to make sure that every kind of authors or every author which you have chosen into your study is being particularly cited properly. Okay. All right. No, okay. One question is there that how can we control extraneous variables? So, Mr. Manglam, actually, let extraneous variable basically, let me tell you, all those who do not know, they are the ones who are not directly contributing towards the study, but their presence that definitely does affect. So, one way which, in my opinion, can be random sampling. Basically, it does not eliminate the extraneous variables altogether. However, it ensures that equal distribution of these extraneous variable in all the groups which we have chosen as a sample to collect our data from. Okay. So basically, can be reduced. The effect of extraneous variable can be reduced by equally distributing them in all the groups. Now, how to provide comprehensive foundation of topic, and that is whatever topic we have chosen for our study, how we can have a how we can present a comprehensive foundation, or we can say that to provide a synthesized platform of that topic in our study. Now, firstly, that the topic chosen has to be a mentioning to both the author and its intended audience. So basically, we need to be it is irrespective. This is a suggestion for irrespective you're writing a review paper or a research paper. This is a suggestion for me to both the kind of researchers or writing any kind of paper, that whenever you are writing a paper or whenever you are choosing any topic, you need to make sure that what kind of audience you're writing this for. What you're writing for it for corporates, you're writing for academicians, or you're writing for both, like organizations can also make use of these foundings or findings of your paper. Okay. Then is to make sure a paper is original and does not reproduce the work of another scholar. The researcher needs to locate and synthesize several sources. Definitely, basically what happened is that's a very very common problem which you also come across with, that in review paper, many a time, as I think in chat also this question came, that how to avoid plagiarism. So many a times what happen is that the paper does not look like as it belongs to us. that as it belongs to, as it is my paper. Okay, it does not, because we are working on somebody else's work, working as in we are synthesizing the information extracted for somebody else's work. So it becomes a responsibility to make sure that originality of the paper. So you need to be assured of the fact that your own research acumen on critically analyzing that paper should be maintained. You should, you need to make sure that you does not stick to a particular category of the paper or category of the literature. You just enlarge your horizons. And I firmly believe that these days various reports produced by various organizations, as in the authenticated one, again I am saying, please make sure of those reports. They are very good source. Okay. And also the basis of the paper, the authoritative basis of that paper should also be drawn, that the area in which the scholar is working, that what is the eventual theme of that paper. And this comes out when you put your attention towards academic journals, the peer review journals, as I said, the collection which are published by university presses, and so ultimately you are making sure that the work which you have done in your review article or review paper is ensuring that you have utilized multiple sources of your literature, of the work done on that topic, and then you are synthesizing the information by reflecting your own research acumen in the same. Okay. Now, second is very important thing is that in today's time we often rely on Google search too much. We go for it too much. But you know what? Please make sure that you see these days even COVID has not gone. I would say that, but it's not too much of there. So we can go to different libraries. Like if I tell you that I used to go to a lot for Delhi University Library, for MDI Gurgaon Library. So please visit these physical libraries, and make sure that you take enough opportunity to utilize their literature sources. They have enough literature, and even your own university from where you are studying or you're pursuing or you're working, they must be having their own university. They must be having the access to various journals, because university library, institute library, they purchase the subscription to various journals. So make sure that you do not even only rely on simple Google. And what happened today's in research world, what is happening is that the scholars just whatever they want to work on, they type it on Google, and then they rely on that only. But I would say that we can't ignore the fact that Google search is important, but please explore other sources as well. Then brainstorm the ideas. Think. Prepare a good outline. Now again, I would like to talk to you regarding the same, that whenever you are writing a research paper, your structure of the paper is primarily is quite a bit, on a safer side. It is easy for you to structure your paper when you are writing a research paper. However, when you are writing your review paper, providing a outline to a review paper takes a lot of time. Please invest that time, that what kind of representation you would like to give to your paper, what kind of structural content you would like to give to your paper. Be it variable association, be it trend analysis, be it theoretical framework, be it discussing various models related to the topic. What kind of structural format you would like your paper to have to be. Please make sure that you brainstorm the ideas and you prepare an outline on that. Okay. Then, because your lastly is, as I already said, that introduction definitely helps to create a very impressive first impression about your paper. So make sure that your introduction is very catchy. I firmly believe to make my introduction very strong. Make sure of you use some catchy quotes, some beautiful lines. When I say beautiful lines, the vocabulary should be very much refined. Okay, I think their research graduate can definitely help you with. So the lines which you use in introduction, because in your introduction you are not reviewing anybody else, you are starting your work, so there your own research acumen will be reflected. How good you are as a researcher is, so you need to write, that. For example, if you're writing any paper, you say that the business world is dynamic these days than ever before. So the word of dynamic, ever before, catches the audience attention. Okay, then for example, believe it or not, for any other paper, believe it or not, COVID-19 is, yes, the reality. So with this line, putting up an exclamation mark. So depending upon what kind of review paper you're writing, these kind of catchy lines definitely garners the audience attention, and they play a very important role in maintaining the connectivity of that reader, or maintaining that flow of that, the reader's attention throughout your paper. Okay. Okay. Now, review paper definitely answers about the current state of your knowledge. What is the current status of that knowledge? So, when I say review paper, I do not necessarily mean that I'm talking only about what's done in the past. Okay. Also, with the help of my review paper, what I'm trying to tell you is that I'm trying to showcase the progression of that topic. So when can you show the progression? When you are telling what is currently happening. So for that, literature published in the form of paper would not be there many a times, right? As somebody have said, there is a paucity of the paper published. In that case, you can follow the news articles, you can follow Bloomberg, you can follow Forbes, you can follow HPR, you can follow the various authenticated magazines, you can follow the various conferences and their proceedings which are happening these days on that particular theme. So make sure you get in touch with all that happening on that topic currently around the world. Okay, so that current state of knowledge should also be a part of your review article. Okay, and then when you are talking about what is the current state, what you have to include, as I said, that what are the major trends which are happening, what are the any ideological changes which are happening, what is the new onset on that topic in terms of any new development which is happening, and so on. So that represents the current state of knowledge. So review article is a perfect amalgamation of what has happened and what is happening. Okay, now if somebody said that what we can write in the conclusion, or what suggestions. Now here comes the catch, that when you are reviewing a paper, when you're writing a review article, so what you are doing is you are writing what has happened, you are writing what is happening, and then as a author you can present on the basis of your understanding that what can be the future. This suggestion you can give. Okay, that what can be the future. All right. Okay, now, moving on, it's very important to find the research gap. Now, here, the research gap which I have taken, it's not only for the purpose of the review article, you can actually follow it when you are writing any research article as well. Okay. Now, research gap, when I say anything which is not being addressed, anything which has not been taken care of. So consider these research gap. Probably this will be beneficial for all the people who are also writing the research article. Okay, so you consider research gap as the area which has not been addressed, or which has not been taken care of, but it should be. Okay, so research gap is equal to research aim? No, definitely not. For example, we have taken example that if what is the status of or what is the psychological status of students when they are being forced to take any particular career choice according to their family. So research aim to identify their psychological assessment of the well-being, of their psychological well-being. And research gap is that there has been a very less kind of literature which has been discussed, that what they go through what psychological socially withdrawn behavior they show when they have been asked to choose a particular career choice. Okay, so this way, basically, when you are reading any literature, let me tell you, when you are reading any literature, so while finding the research gap, you focus on the fact that what has not been done. So when you are reviewing a literature, many factors, many points come to your mind, they struck to your mind, that this may also be possible, this may also be possible. I have read it in another paper that they have touched upon this aspect, but no study has been done. But make sure that whenever you write a research gap, please don't write that no study has been done. You always play a safer side that limited studies have been done. Okay, all right. So moving ahead, research aim, when I say that, according to this example, it can be that research, particularly research, if we are working on this title, that what are the experiences which the students have, or the experience when they have been asked to take a particular career choice according to their parents. Okay, research aim after that for any of your review paper also, that is the purpose of your study, that why you need to do this purpose of the study can come into your conclusion when you are writing your review paper. Okay, that why you need to do this, what prompted you to do that. So, and then point, you can also reflect your research gap, that after reviewing all this literature on this particular tab, this mega trend is missing, or discussion on this particular analysis should can be further. So this way you are providing a suggestion also to the future researcher that this analysis can be taken ahead. Now, with these research gaps highlighted into the review paper, you are helping other researchers by giving them a ready made research gap through your study, because you have reviewed the paper, you have reviewed the previous literature, and with the help of those literature reviews or the review paper, you have helped them to get access to the research gap, and that research gap can be taken into ahead on their studies. Okay, so research aim is basically that aspect of the paper with which you are carrying on with your study, what you would like to assess, what you would like to highlight in your paper is research aim. Okay, all right, now how you can go ahead with, as I told you, that this may help you. Again, I'm telling you that while you are writing a research article or your review article, both the ways you can use this method. Any mega trend you are happening, any recent trend, what you like, and then, as I said, that recent literature. So you identify what has not been done in that particular field or in that particular topic. In spite of reviewing so many literature, you still find that, while writing a review paper, that this particular variable is being missing, the association of this particular method, because you are experiencing, for example, you are experiencing some association of the variables practically happening in the organization, but literature does not talk about that. So you can identify that association of the variables as the literature gap and present it into your review paper. Okay, example I have taken for you, that for example, impact of virtual teaching on teachers. Like, these days online teaching is the talk of the town, probably was talk of the town. What is the impact on students have been taken care of, but what is the impact on teachers have not been taken care of. How they have to go extra miles in preparing their slides, they have to put in extra efforts to engage the students, which definitely demands them to put in extra time, which definitely impacts their work life balance. So this way you identify the research gap. Okay, now when you talk about highlighting the research methodology for your review article, so what you focus is on that, what is the particular research method they have used. Now here comes your acumen, that whatever method they have used, is it right way or not. Okay, what are the criteria they have chosen to choose their test subjects, or what are the conditions in which they have conducted their study, whether the data collection tool is right or not, whether the sample size is right or not. This is the way you actually put across your critical analysis on somebody else's research methodology. This is what review is all about. whenever you are reviewing any other literature. So how they have went upon to their results, what kind of analysis they have done, this is what you mention, this is what you critically evaluate in writing any review paper. Okay, now coming to the abstract. What is an abstract? So as I already said, abstract is a summary of your manuscript, of your paper, and it tells the audience, it tells the journal that what they can expect out of your paper. Okay, so many a time, as I said, that you send your abstract to conferences or your journal, then they get an idea that what should be the paper about. So abstract should be very impressive. Make sure that you write a impressive abstract. What is done, what is being done in the study, what is the purpose of the study, what did you find, and how these study or how these findings of the study is useful, that is significance and implication. So what was done in the study, purpose of the study, the results of the first study, and implication and significance of the study, they primarily are the most important aspect which one needs to cover in their abstract. Make sure you do cover them. Okay, now another very important aspect is keyword. Why keywords are important? Because when, let's say for example, I am a research scholar, I want to look for paper on any search engine. How will I look? I will go for the keywords. The I will try all the permutation and combination of the various keywords. So if you want your paper to come up in that search, you need to be very careful while writing the keywords for your manuscript, for your research paper, for your review paper. So this I'm telling, abstract and keywords I have not only told you for review paper, I've also told you for research paper. Make sure that you have chosen right kind of keywords which actually represents the theme of your paper. One tip, a very quick one: whenever you are writing any paper, make sure that whatever is the theme of your paper, make sure that is one keyword. Like for example, I gave you an example that understanding the influence of factors of motivation, employee motivation in manufacturing. So one keyword, that is employee motivation, which is the theme of my paper, that has to be one keyword, and then you can choose the rest. Okay, so 4 to 6 is the ideal number of your keywords which you should choose. Don't go less than that, don't go for too many of that. Generally, when you go for a journal publication, they tell you the ideal number of keywords which you need to send along with your abstract. Okay, so these are the examples wherein I have taken the title of the I have taken not from the management, because we have varied audience. So what can be a poor keywords and what can be the better keywords, I have taken some examples for your better references. Okay, all right, now comes the compilation of your review paper. So, whenever basically compilation, conclusion, or wrapping up, same thing, right? So, whenever you're writing the conclusion for the review paper, you need to restate of your paper. That means you need to synthesize whatever is being written in your review paper. Okay, so whatever conclusion you want to make about the paper, let's say for example, like I said, that you want to restate that what has happened, what is happening, so that also takes a very important place into your compilation while the review paper. And you please make sure that you use enough evidences. You try to join the everything, every various points of your review paper, you try to join them, and thereby you compile your review paper. Okay, very 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 important aspect for writing a review paper: referencing. Make sure references are formatted very collected, because review paper is all about references, all about references. Okay, so I have given you the examples that if you are taking the article from a magazine, how you should cite it. I have given you that, the author name, the title, the periodical name, the day, month, year, pages. Thereby, I have given you a few more referencing style. That is, if you are taking an article from a newspaper, if you are taking a review article, how you should go ahead with the referencing. Okay, so all this is being given here, that what should be the probable way of citing any particular paper, because generally what happen is that if you we know the way of citing journal papers, but we do not generally know the way of citing an article from a newspaper or from a magazine. So in these slides I have covered magazine, newspaper, scholarly journal, or special issue also, because various scholarly journals they come up with special issues, how to cite them also. So you can, because in a review paper we do not only rely on the journal paper, we go for articles, newspaper, reports, everything. So I have taken the referencing style of all of them for your better understanding. Okay, so you can refer to them whenever you're writing the review paper. Okay, now just to wrap it up, there is a quick checklist when you are writing an integrated review. So please make sure that you write a very impressive introduction. You please tell that what can be the future or new way of thinking. Your empirical findings, or from the review of the other paper, should be properly justified, properly synthesized, and how your paper contributes, because review paper is not just about writing a paper for the sake of reviewing, that just need to add one list. No, your contribution should also be there. And whether your review, whatever review you have done on the previous literature, it is clearly understood by all the audiences which you have chosen to write for or not. Okay, all right, so now we are open for the question and answers. uh, okay, now we are here for the question and answers. Please make sure that, okay. Research aim, Ms. Raki, I have already discussed about. I have done writing work of review paper. How much plagiarism journal will accept in review paper? Okay, Ms. Nisha, when I say the plagiarism acceptance while writing a review paper, that depends upon journal to journal. Okay. See, ideal it should be around because many people say 10%. 10% is too high. Don't go for that. Ideally, aim for that maximum. It's 5%, or at maximum 6% is it's okay to go for. But I would suggest that reduce the plagiarism as low as you can. 0% plagiarism is also possible. Okay. Okay, so that depends upon journal to journal, because that likely various university also have their different requirements when they accept your thesis, that how much plagiarism is accepted. But for plagiarism check in journals, they have different requirements. Okay, I have never written a review paper so far, and procrastination always comes as a major obstacle. Miss Nupur, procrastination is a major obstacle, is not only for the review paper, for any kind of paper, for any kind of work. What could have taken a couple of months, take 6 months? How do I get started? Oh my God. So you are asking for a help. How do I start it? First of all, give yourself a kick with a black cup of coffee. Okay, let me just answer quickly for Nisha. 7% is my paper, ma'am. It's on or not? See, Miss Nisha, if you can reach to 7%, I am 100% sure you can reduce it to 5%, to try it. Because let's say if you are sending it for a journal, a good journal, and they don't accept it with 7%, they will take no, because all this review method with the journals take couple of months, then they'll send you that reduce the plagiarism to 5% or 4%. So I'm 100% sure if you can reduce it to 7%, you can reduce it to less than that too. Okay, Miss Nupur, get yourself a black cup of coffee, and then don't binge on Netflix or any other series. These days a lot of series are coming on. Turn off your TV and please, please, please start working. Okay, Miss Madhusmita, I have told you the format of a review article in this webinar. The slides also have. That can be considered as a standard format of a review article. However, when you are going for, or you are aiming for a particular journal, they also sometimes give you a format of your review article, that how your review article should be structured. Okay, so format, you don't worry about. If you have the content, you can put the format according to the requirements of the journal. Otherwise, the standard one I have already given in the webinar. Okay, Mr. Ahmed, differences between introduction and background I have told. However, this is a different session. As I told Ms. Rakhi also, that if you guys want a webinar on such, we can conduct on that too. However, just for a quick Difference between introduction and background. Introduction generally entails background. Okay, many a paper you have must have found that there is no specific background of the study because it is involved in introduction only. However, if you want to understand between the difference between both of them, background talks about the past of that particular chosen topic. However, introduction talks about when you are introducing the topic, that what you're going to talk about to your audience, and how your study is going to contribute towards that topic also. So a general reference around that topic is introduction. However, background only talks about the past references of that topic or the developments of the major developments around that topic. Okay, we can share a sample for review paper. You can get many, don't worry. Do we need to take permission from author of paper which is going to review that paper? Mr. Harish, I did not understand your question. Do we need to take the no? See, if you are reviewing somebody's, which I have understood your question as, if you are reviewing somebody else's work, okay, which is already published, you need not to take a in-person permission. However, you need to cite his or her name. Citation is very important. How to go up for coming? You feel like design, animation, or VFX? I mean, what do you want to ask Mr. Amit about that? You want to write a paper on it? You want to pursue your career on it? You want to do a course on it? I mean, you need to please elaborate your question. Yes, Mr. Latish. Thank you so much, Mr. Latish. Thank you so much. If I can be a little help to any one of you, please thank you so much. And feel free to contact to Research Graduate. We're always there to help you out for any queries if you have. And, we not only help you guide through a topic selection, we take you to the entire journey of research. Okay, Mr. Ahmed, if you have submitted an article to journal, please you can, and there is no hear back from journal yet. Uh, Good journals generally take time, but you can definitely write a letter to their editor or to anybody in the team that to asking about the status of your paper which you have submitted and what is the current actions which the journal is taking, or if you have to edit something or probably work upon something, some aspect of the paper, they should let you know. So you can write an email to them. Make sure that you write a lead. Okay, Amit, you want to write a paper. So you have to again tell me that what kind of paper you want to write in, review paper or research paper. How to go about a review paper, I just explained you. If you want to write about a research paper, then you have to identify the gap first, that what aspect of topic related to design or animation you would like to work upon. Okay, Vedehi, you are using a self-prepared questionnaire in research article. Will it lowers the acceptance of my paper for publication? No, self-prepared questionnaire, no, no, definitely not. Unless and until you have used the reliability and the validity check of that questionnaire, it will not. And who said that it will lower the chances? No, 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 no ways. If your questionnaire is properly designed, the items of the questionnaire reflects the variable chosen in the study, and the reliability and the validity of the questionnaire is properly checked, definitely. Okay, it will not lower. If your questionnaire is of quality, it will not. If we are writing a Mr. Suhas question is, we are writing a review paper in the middle of our research to get a degree. Okay, doesn't this mean that we are exposing our ideas? So shouldn't we write our review paper after getting the degree? See, Mr. Suhas, actually what happened is depends upon your what do you say, university requirement. Because as far as I know, I during my PhD, I not only because I was working on the change management model, HR change management model in healthcare, but I wrote a paper on review paper on understanding the change management in healthcare. So I did not categorically reflected the HR aspect of it. So it's not like that you're reflecting the idea out of that, because many university they want you to review paper, write the review paper in the middle of the PhD course, right? So just to get a degree, it's not the purpose, but it is a requirement of your PhD. Many universities they have the requirement of your PhD. So if you were to put it like that, that just to get a degree if you're writing a review paper, no, because it's a requirement of a course. Okay. Can you copy the images of the published article as it is for review? See, when you say copy the images or tables or figures, anything, make sure that you cite. Please make sure that you cite. Okay, how to select a good journal for publishing paper? As I told you, that whatever journal you are going for, whatever journal you wish to pursue for your publication, make sure that they are indexed, and you need to double check their indexing. Okay, double check their indexing, this that whatever claim they are claiming that we are indexed here, or Scopus or Web of Science, wherever they are, please make sure that you go to the list, you go to the website particularly, and then check whether the particular journal is indexed or not. This is the way you can check the authenticity of the journal. Yes, Suzanne, you will get the certificate for this webinar, don't worry. How should the review how should Sneha's question is, how should be the review article in general or very specific on topic? Depends upon that, if you want, if you wish to be very specific, there has to be the enough literature available on the topic. However, review paper, generally are surrounding towards the topic. Okay, any good UGC journal that you suggest, financial background review paper? See, Miss Asia, I would not name any particular journal that this is good or this is bad, because there are various journals specifically for the finance background review paper. There are various journals who are equally good. So you, for this, you please get in touch with your supervisor. That would be a better person to tell you this, because depending upon the preferences of your supervisor, he or she should be able to tell you, because there are various journals who are equally good to each other. Mr. Ahmad, I told you the quality of the journal also. You read the kind of paper they have and the kind of indexing they have. You will get the certificate on your email, Mr. Zain, as I told you. uh, Apart from organization, governmental website, from where we get the primary data is what you get, what you collect from from your data collection tool, Miss Fedihi. Can you please research paper? See, example of a picture of a review paper I have given in my webinar, and you can get many on Google. As I said, there are various available. Is it bad to publish only one paper during PhD? Mr. Khan, not bad, but it is not suggestive. You should make sure that you attend various conferences, you present, because publishing various paper during the course of your PhD, you get the authentication of your thesis, you get various feedbacks on your work, so it is advisable to go for it. Review paper should be sent in review journal or any other journals. Mr. Pravash, review journals generally accept the review paper. However, other journals also accept the review paper, so you can contact both of them. It's okay, fine. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much for attending. Yes, Ms. Latish, a quick question. A simple journal for a fresh M Pharma graduate to publish this article. So you want me to tell you a M Pharma journal, uh, pharmacy, for your pharmacy? See, there are various journals. Again, as I told to some other query, that you need to decide about the requirement of your topic on which you are writing your paper on. That which journal is best suited to your topic, because every journal does not take all the kind of paper or every kind of topic. How to decide referee when uploading the review article? Is this? Can you elaborate your question, Ms. Rupali? Is there any question? Other question? Thank you so much, Satyam. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. See, basically, if you are, talking in terms of a referee, so the job of a referee is to, uh, you know, uh, is something else. Because I did not get your question, Mr. Rupali, what you are trying to answer. Because the role of a referee is something else, which you are trying to ask from your question. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much. It's a very nice way to interact all the scholars around the world, and it's a very nice platform to interact with each other. And if research graduate can be of any help to you, any one of you, for any of your queries, please feel free to get in touch with us. and we'll be there to help you out. And please make sure that your research journey should not stop, and Research Graduate is always there to help you. Any other question? Thank you. Mr. Isa, you said awful presentation. You did not like the presentation, or what? Awful is not the right word. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Ali. Thank you so much. Thank you, Vedehi. Oh, Neha. Neha is there. Thank you, Neha. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for attending. It's nice interacting with you, and audience like you who keeps on interacting, who keeps on asking the questions, is definitely very nice to get in touch with. Thank you, Mr. Anil. Thank you. Thank you so much. And please do not stop your research journey just on merely attending webinars or conferences. Make sure that you write your own work. Make sure you make you are on this work. That somebody has said that procrastination is there. Procrastination can be for any work. For any work you can feel lazy. For any work you can feel like laid back, but make sure that you come out of all that, you come out of that zone, and you do it your 100%. Because see, all those who are doing PhD, make sure do not forget this fact that we get such chance of doing PhD, a course like PhD, once in a lifetime, and make the best of it. And when your PhD gets complete, the name, when you get prefixed with your name as doctor, the feeling is out of the world. I can still get back to my PhD times. Suzanne, I have already told her that you will get the certificate on your email, with which you must have registered for this webinar. So don't worry, you will get the certificates. Don't worry, you will get the recording, you'll get the slides, you'll get all of it. Okay. So all those who are doing their PhD, just put in your 100%, and the day you will get your name prefixed with doctor, the kick is outstanding. It's awesome. It's out of the world. So just aim for that day, chase that day, that when you will be getting your name as doctor. Okay. So thank you so much for attending. Thank you so much, ma'am, for everybody who's there, and very lively audience is there. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everybody. No, no, it's okay, Suzanne. You have not interrupted. Thank you so much, Mr. Isa. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.